See, the universe is not fair. And whatever other things you have created is an exceptional reality of what you call fairness. And so, your physics doesn't care about what is right, what is wrong. Your chemistry doesn't care. And biology is just a bunch of chemicals running together, helping in evolution and developed on a basic science. So, apparently, nothing cares about what happens. And there is no fairness, there is no cosmic judgment, there is no divine power who's ruling everything, and there are a system of rules which are created which a human needs to follow, and which is what humans call the fairness. But when you go out, when you see the world, you come up with this paradoxical question that there is a bunch of inequality in life. There is a bunch of unfair situations going out there. There are some people born with an amputated leg. There was a guy who was walking down and then just randomly got by a truck and died. And so humans got these questions that why is this system around me? Why is this nature around me, the universe around me so unfair? Why is there no equality? Why are there no rules that are followed? And why are there no consequences for someone who goes beyond that rule? And so humans had these questions, and the list of questions kept getting bigger and bigger as they experienced the universe and its inequality. So the first question that comes to your mind is, why wasn't I born in a rich household? Why wasn't I born with some kind of a different IQ? Why wasn't I born fair enough, long enough, maybe tall enough, whatever? So you come up with these existential questions. You try to go around in the world, you try to experience and you understand the inequality. And you try to question them. And so what you apparently question again and again is that why was a deer running, and why did the tiger come around and snatch that deer, kill it and eat it? But then human needed an answer, because these questions kept on coming and human was getting full of anxiety in his head, and he needed answers to those questions because these just seem random. These inequality situations just seem random. And so human was getting anxiety and getting different kind of weird emotions flowing through him, that what is the reality supposed to be? Why is it not fair? And so human had to come up with this one word answer, which is deserved. What is deserved? So that deer must have done something to deserve that death. That deer must have done something in his previous life which was sinful, so that now he is a deer who's been caught by a tiger and killed eventually. A human, a normal baby, just a 6-day old baby, born with some kind of a Down syndrome, he must have done something in the previous life. A rape victim, she must have done something very horrible in her life. Human loves to come up with fairness, and human loves to ask the questions which he doesn't want the true answer to. Human doesn't want the true answer. Human wants a convincible lie which is vocalized according to their positioning of truth. This is a huge English word. Let me explain it to you. David Hume comes up with an is-ought problem. Let's understand values first, okay? David Hume, a philosopher, comes up with a problem which is-ought. Let's understand it by a normal S example, okay? I, or maybe some other person, doesn't want to study, doesn't want to continue his degree, wants to drop out, wants to do something else with his life. So the mom comes in, the parents come in. Parents starts to provide facts. First, fact number one. If you don't study, there's a research done that people who study get 70% more monetary income throughout their life. So people earn 70% more if they have a degree. You won't have one. Monetary fact. Point number two, which is a relatable fact, but still a kind of fact which we all would agree to, is, let's say my friend had this daughter who studied these at this huge university, went to this one to get the master's degree, she did the PhD, she wrote a thesis, she worked there, she settled down with a beautiful husband, she got married, and wow, now she's happy. Point number 3, which is a fact again. Your teacher yesterday at the parents teacher meeting was saying me that you had crazy potential, but you don't work, you don't study harder. Fact number 3, that maybe your teacher did your psychological evaluation and she came up that you had crazy potential. And so what a parent is trying to say me is that you have to study, because that makes your life more lovable, more happier, more monetary stable, and lets you experience that crazy potential according to your psyche, well, according to that random ass teacher. But there is a value bridge gap. Why should I care? This is a psychological question. I was boomed when I heard about this entire problem. Just understand it. Try to go with me, okay? 1, I should study because it gives me money. 2nd, I should study because it makes me happy. 3rd, I should study because it lets me experience the crazy potential I have. But the problem is, there's a value gap in that. Why should I care about money? Why should I care about being happy? And why should I care about experiencing the crazy potential I have that a random ass teacher said? You don't want to answer the valuable questions. You don't want to circulate the gap exactly. You want to keep the gap and understand this entire situation logically, because logic falls down. What is the reasoning behind me trying to go for a job to make money? But do I even care about money? Is the question. So if I say you smoking and drinking is injurious to health, I directly am jumping to a conclusion that smoking and drinking is injurious to health, and you care about your health. Maybe you don't care about your health. You are ready to die tomorrow. You are ready whenever it comes, and whenever your health degrades, you don't care about it. See, the thing is, these values and this fairness, or sort of biased fairness, is already a human's programmed way of living. He wants it that way. He wants it to be in this manner. And so he would accept it only in that manner. So these are not the questions to be asked. These are psychopathical, these are serial killer level questions you're asking me. Obviously, I care about my health. Obviously, I care about money and the love and the happiness and the experiencing crazy potential. I care about that. Do you? Ask that question. You just accept them as fact, but no, these are values. These are person to person dependent. Maybe you don't care about happiness. Maybe you just care about money. Maybe you just care about experiencing the crazy potential. Okay, I'm stretching it at this point. Okay. So what it does is, what it explains me is that there is no cosmic divine order in life. There is no fairness and there is no continuous equality throughout. There are these paradoxes, and they create paradoxical questions and situations that human gets anxiety on if he or she doesn't get the answer to. So if I don't provide you a logical answer to what is, why is, you were born in a small as modest household instead of a rich household, why you had these kind of parents instead of those kind of parents, why you weren't roaming within your childhood in a Mercedes instead of you were not even having a car at your house, I cannot give you these answers. A human cannot give these answers because these are facts. There's no value in them. So if I study, I get intelligent. Maybe 110% it is a fact if I actually study. It is a fact. You cannot deny it. You were born to your parents. It is a fact. It cannot be changed. You want a reasoning for it, but there is no reasoning. I can give you maybe a biological reasoning that you were the lucky sperm in the lottery race, but you don't want to accept luck. You don't want the randomness, because what randomness does is it involves me. What happens is, if I just accept that a homeless beggar sitting down on the road is not because of the bad choices he made, is not because deserved to be there, then tomorrow it can be me. But I don't deserve it. I don't deserve to be homeless. And so he must have done something. That's why he deserved to be homeless. You know what ridiculous question they ask to rape victims is she might have wore the clothes in certain way. You don't want to accept the truth, right? You don't want to accept that there are monsters among you. You want it to be reasonable every time. Every time human wants answers to those questions, and he never wants the true answers. He wants a conventional, positionable, and vocalized way of lying. He doesn't want the truth, the fact. So let me give you an example, okay? There's a vegan bullshit going around in the world, okay? Now, what is this vegan bullshit? You can eat as many coriander, as many bell peppers, as many tomatoes you want to, as many cabbages you want to, but you cannot kill a chicken, or maybe a lamb, or maybe something else. The reason is because there is a vocalization of your evilness within those organisms. When you eat a coriander, coriander won't cry in front of you. So it is morally okay. Well, the truth actually stands way relatable. Let's consider an egg, okay? An egg, consider it one organism, right? So an egg will further grow into one organism, okay? On the other hand, when you cut up a bell pepper, there are small seeds like thing you find. When you cut up a tomato, you find many seeds. Each seed is considerable organism which would go in and become a tree or something, a sprout or a herb. But you just killed it. But as the tomato doesn't cry and get tortured in front of your eyes, and it doesn't have the blood of your color, it doesn't psychologically hurt you at all. It doesn't morally hurt you at all. But what morally hurts you is seeing someone cry and getting tortured. Because when someone gets these five senses as you, when someone gets the blood as same as you, when they shout as same as you relate to them. And that's why you want to accept the fairness and consider that it is humans who are doing the bad thing. But the thing is, you don't want to accept that the deer is getting chased and the tiger is chasing the deer because it is the food chain of the world. You don't want to accept the truth. You don't want to accept the simple as fact. This is biology. This is evolution. This is the way how it has worked. Maybe a few years ago, there was some weird ass type of breed which were consuming lions. You don't want to accept it. You want a convincible lie. A thing that you can have. As I said, it's a vocalized version. Vocalization of your evilness. When you see someone shout, getting tortured, feeling the pain, you relate to that. You empathize with it. And that's why you hate it. That's why you ask for equality. That's why you crave for justice. Human and its craving for justice. Why evolutionarily you want justice, you want truth to be the utmost point which is followed in everyone's life? Because that is the reason why trust and bonds happened in the initial groups that humans created. So let's say if there were millions and millions of years ago where there were no gold coins that you used to trade in, I am trusting you. I'm trusting you. I'm helping you today. You would help me tomorrow. It had to be trust, and the trust had to derive the justice to bring up a society, to bring up the human evolution, and humans' desperation was satisfied that, yeah, if I help him, he would help me, which is an equalized relation. And so this justice and equality in my head is served. And so, yeah, I'm happy. This is the way society should work. But human doesn't want to accept the truth that killing an egg, or maybe making an egg, is actually way more beneficial than cutting up a bell pepper. And you don't just eat one bell pepper, you at least eat 3 of them. Simple truth. You don't want to accept it. The moral consequence and the vocalization of lie. This is just something you think it is just for humans? No. Let's consider some animalistic, but not a perfect human being. Let's consider mammals, and mammals, let's consider an experiment done with monkeys. Okay, so this is experiment done with monkeys. All right, I forgot the name of the breed of monkeys, but yeah, they were monkeys. Two monkeys brought up at a place, and they were given a task to do. As they did their task, the researchers standing there rewarded them because, yeah, you did good task, maybe you deserve the rewards. One of the monkey was given a cucumber, which is a okayish reward, while the other monkey was given a bunch of grapes, which was a considerable higher and greater reward. And so, what the cucumber monkey did was he threw the cucumber at the researcher in rage, in kind of anger. That no, I want equality, I want the bunch of grapes like him. And this is why there's a psychological need of human to trust someone and to trust in the nature and create it in a way and create the stories and storyline and different kind of fantasy worlds in her head about the reality to accept that, yeah, there is justice. There's a psychological need in humans that there shall be a justice. And I think this is a kind of curse to all the smart creatures, to all those upper scale people who use the brain, to all the organisms that have the brain. They need answers. They have this metacognitive ability. And so I usually question it again and again, that is consciousness something that I would call a blessing or something I would call a curse? Why not? And these questions come up in my head again and again, again and again. But you don't want the true answer, which is that a kind of divine revelation, a kind of reasoning, a kind of deserved word is all just created by humans to accept that there is no truth in the world, but we will create it. So the word deserved is a kind of acceptance that there is a cosmic divine justice going around in the universe. So let's say there is a tit for your tat. If you do bad to me, bad things would happen to you. You want that thing. You want to crave about the fairness and you want to fulfill that craving. You don't want to accept the truth as it is. You don't want to accept that there is no divine meaning and divine power and there are no sins and there is no hell. You don't want to understand this. You don't want to accept it as the truth because this hinders and removes all the layers that you have created over years and kind of keeps you vulnerable in front of the truth, which you didn't want to accept. So this is a weird situation where human wants a vocalized version of lie. And so what you would do is you would go around and give 2 rupees, $2, maybe something in whichever currency you are understandable in. You give the beggar some kind of a currency. Okay, you take it. You deserve it this time. I know bad things have happened to you, but if I do good things would happen to me. And that is the reason why I'm doing this. And so there's this basicest thing go around in the memes of the entire atheist and philosophical section about atheism is that if you do good things because there is a God sitting up, because you will go to heaven, then you are the most evil creature right here. But you don't want to accept it. Humans don't want truth. They want a convincible, vocalized version of lie and evil. In your head, evil is supposed to be something with 2 horns. But the thing is, evilness stands in the question where you ask someone that the rape victim, that it happened all because she must have wore some kind of clothes. You see a baby with some kind of a genetic disease and you say that it is because you might have done something bad in the past life. You see the beggar and you say that you have made bad choices in your life. And you see yourself and you say, I might have done something crazy enough in my past life to deserve this life. Deserve is the word. Deserve is the word that human keeps on coming up with. And it is the core center of what the fairness and the true justice is all about in humans. The thing is, human needs fairness because it created the groups. It is literally the base root of what this reality and society you have created around you. Without this truth and fairness and the craving of equality, this society, this modern society, this civilization wouldn't exist. In the form you are experiencing the life, you wouldn't be able to experience. But at the same time, human also doesn't want to question those deep and profound things again and again. And so he created a fantastic, what the fuck am I saying? A fantasy creature, like some being, some kind of a huge form of life who controls the universe. He's taking care of you. He's looking at every playable character in this universe, and he's looking through everyone, and he's seeing who is doing good, who is doing bad, and then he would judge them accordingly. Humans themselves create the rules that this life form has, and then humans tend to follow them. So in different religion, you might find different form of truth, different form of what they call fairness and justice and their good things. So for a terrorist, the good thing is to kill the people. For a terrorist, the good thing is to kill the people in the name of God, or to in the name of some divine meaning they have, or in form of a meaning that is they did this injustice to us. Maybe for this particular set of color of race they are from, or maybe from the particular religion they are from, we are against them. They have done injustice against us, so they deserve this punishment, and the God is looking at us. He's with us. He's with us because we are true. We are good. That is the concept of a terrorist. Because human never considers itself as the core subject, and he never considers itself as a wrong one. He always wants himself to be true. He never wants to accept that he's wrong in any way. There comes the other one, the other side, who is a soldier defending his country, man. And so he's correct. He's morally good right now, right? Because he is going to kill the terrorists who are going to kill us. So it's a tit for tat. And so it is, everything is good because tit for tat is why the world exists. Yeah. And so I look at these questions, I ask these questions, and I look at the answers that humans have created for these questions, and I laugh at them. I laugh at the fallacy of and the fantasy nature of their answers. They don't want the truth, they want magical lie. At this point, they just want magical lie. I can't even say anything. That's it. Bye.